could have been carbon monoxide poisoning.
I would communicate with her pretty much on a weekly basis. 2.5 weeks ago, that stopped.
They stumble upon a grim scene, the body of the Oscar-winning legend.
He's down. He's been down for a while.
Yeah. Gene Hackman?
Okay.
It's a mystery for investigators. We have now received a trove of new information. It includes details on what Betsy Hackman was searching for before she died and the first-person view of the officers as they found the couple dead at home.
The Oscar-winning star was 95. His wife was only 65. At first, authorities called it natural causes. But the official search warrant from the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office contained this chilling line: the deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough investigation. The front door was unlocked. The multi-million-dollar home looked like a garbage dump. Pills scattered across every surface, rotten food, dog waste left for days, and one of their dogs dead from starvation inside a locked closet. Everyone thought this was just a tragic story of two elderly, reclusive stars dying alone. But over 1 year later, brand new details from the never-before-seen body cam footage and the full search warrant have just been released. A dark secret that completely destroys the official natural causes conclusion. What they found inside Gene Hackman's house will change everything you thought you knew about his death. Welcome back to Legend Secrets. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications, because we're about to blow this case wide open. Chapter 1, Stepping into the House of Horror. It was Wednesday, February 26, 2025, just before 2 p.m. A cold, crisp winter afternoon in Santa Fe, New Mexico. The temperature was sitting at 42 degrees with a sharp desert wind blowing through the high desert. Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were on routine patrol when a frantic 911 call came in. The caller was Jesse Kessler, a longtime maintenance worker who had been with the Hackmans for years. He and another contractor had just arrived for a scheduled check and found the front door standing wide open with no sign of Gene or Betsy inside. Two deputies responded immediately. Deputy Carlos Rivera, wearing his body camera, and his partner pulled up to the 23-acre compound. The heavy steel gate was already ajar. They approached the unlocked front door cautiously, weapons drawn, and stepped inside. The moment they crossed the threshold, the smell hit them like a wall, thick, sour, and rotten. It was the stench of decay, spoiled food, dog waste, and something far worse. The once luxurious $4 million mansion was pitch black. Every light was off. Piles of clothes, cardboard boxes, old newspapers, half-eaten groceries, and trash were scattered everywhere across the floors. The place looked like a landfill. Deputy Rivera's flashlight beam cut through the darkness as they moved deeper into the house. The smell grew stronger. When they reached the main bathroom, the horror became real. Dog feces and urine had been left untouched for days, caked on the floor and in the toilet. A blood-stained pillow lay on the ground. The space heater had been dragged out into the middle of the room, as if someone had been desperately trying to stay warm. And then they saw her. Betsy Arakawa, 65 years old, was lying face down on the cold tile floor. Her body already showed signs of decomposition. Scattered all around her were dozens of prescription pills, diltiazem, thyroid medication, Tylenol, as if she had collapsed while trying to take them. Just 10 to 15 feet away, inside the bathroom closet, they found one of the couple's dogs, Zina, dead from starvation, still locked inside her crate. Deputy Rivera's voice cracked over the body cam audio. Jesus, this doesn't look right. She's been here for days. The front door had been left wide open the entire time, yet the house looked like it had been quietly searched. Nothing obvious was stolen, but everything felt completely wrong. They still hadn't found Gene Hackman. Chapter 2, The Mysterious Timeline and Death Suspicions. But the nightmare was only beginning. As the deputies continued their sweep of the house, they still hadn't found Gene Hackman. What they uncovered in the following hours would rewrite everything the public thought they knew about the final days of one of Hollywood's greatest legends. According to the New Mexico Office of the Medical Investigator, Betsy Arakawa, 65, had died first sometime around February 11th or 12th, 2025, from hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, an extremely rare and aggressive lung disease transmitted through contact with infected rodent droppings, urine, or saliva. The once elegant classical pianist, who had been married to Gene Hackman for over 30 years, was found face down on the cold bathroom tile, her body already showing advanced decomposition and mummification in her hands and feet. Here's where the timeline becomes truly disturbing. Newly released phone records show that on the morning of February 12th, the very day after authorities originally believed she had already died, Betsy's phone was used to make multiple calls to Cloudberry Health, a private medical concierge service in Santa Fe. She spoke with a doctor, requested an appointment for that afternoon, and even discussed getting an echocardiogram for her husband's heart issues. The appointment was scheduled, but Betsy never showed up. The clinic tried calling her back several times with no answer. That single detail changed everything. Meanwhile, Gene Hackman, the 95-year-old two-time Oscar winner, famous for his commanding roles in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and as Lex Luthor in the Superman films, was still alive. Pacemaker data later revealed that Gene's heart continued to show activity until approximately February 18th, a full week after his wife is believed to have passed. The official cause of his death was hypertensive and atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, with advanced Alzheimer's disease listed as a significant contributing factor. Medical examiners believe the legendary actor may have continued his daily routine, eating, moving around the house, even sitting near his wife's body, completely unaware that Betsy was already gone. Imagine that for a moment. One of Hollywood's toughest on-screen icons, reduced by Alzheimer's to a man who possibly spent nearly 7 full days living alone with his wife's decomposing body in the next room, the front door left unlocked the entire time, while their dog Zinna starved to death just feet away in a bathroom closet. The couple had chosen extreme isolation in their final years. Hackman's 3 adult children, Christopher, Leslie, and Elizabeth, had not seen or spoken to their parents in over 18 months. No cleaning staff, no visitors, no outside help. The $4 million, 23-acre compound had become a sealed fortress of silence. Yet the house showed signs that someone or something had been moving around after Betsy's death. The space heater had been dragged into the middle of the bathroom floor. Pills were scattered as if someone had desperately tried to administer medication. The front door stood wide open for days with no signs of forced entry. So here are the questions that refuse to go away. Why did Betsy make those phone calls on February 12th if she was already supposed to be dead? Was Gene truly unaware his wife had passed? Or was there something more sinister happening inside those walls? And why did 2 of the wealthiest, most private people in Hollywood end up dying in a house that looked like a garbage dump, with the door left unlocked for the world to eventually walk in? The official ruling remains natural causes, but the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Office search warrant still carries that haunting line. The deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough investigation. And as more body cam footage and phone records continue to surface over a year later, that suspicion is only growing stronger. They still hadn't found Gene Hackman when the deputies first stepped into that bathroom. But what they learned next would turn this tragedy into one of the most unsettling Hollywood mysteries in decades. Chapter 3, The Items That Shouldn't Have Been There. As the deputies pushed deeper into the silent mansion, the horror of the bathroom was only the beginning. What they found in the next 30 minutes would turn a tragic death scene into something far more sinister. Deputy Carlos Rivera and his partner began a systematic search, room by room, bagging evidence as they went. The first shocking discovery came in the master bedroom. On the nightstand beside Betsy's side of the bed lay her 2 cell phones, both still powered on, both with battery life remaining. When investigators later examined them, the The search history from the final days told a terrifying story. On February 10th and 11th, Betsy had frantically Googled flu symptoms, oxygen canisters for home use, and hantavirus symptoms. She had even watched a short medical video on how the virus spreads through rodent droppings. The phones were seized immediately. But the real bombshell came when they moved to the main bathroom again, the same room where Betsy's body had been found. While cataloging the scattered pills on the counter, one deputy noticed the medicine cabinet was slightly ajar. He pulled it open further and froze. Tucked behind a false panel at the very back of the cabinet was a small, unlabeled brown glass bottle and a single plastic syringe wrapped in a clear bag. Inside the bottle were about 20 bright blue capsules. Capsules that matched nothing on the couple's long list of prescribed medications. No pharmacy label, no doctor's name, no expiration date. Toxicology teams rushed the vial to the lab for urgent testing. As of today, more than a year later, the full report remains sealed and silent. That single hidden bottle changed the entire investigation. Next to the cabinet, investigators found Betsy's 2025 daily planner still open to the month of February. The handwriting on the final entries was shaky and hurried, clearly written by someone under extreme stress. On February 9th, she had written, "Gene isn't well. They're doing something to us." The next day, February 10th, "Don't let them in." And on what appears to be her last entry, February 11th, the words that still send chills through anyone who reads them. "I think the virus is not natural." As if that wasn't enough, the team discovered one final piece of evidence that would haunt the case forever. On Gene Hackman's own phone, found on the kitchen counter, near where his body was later discovered, investigators recovered a 47-second voice memo recorded at 3:17 a.m. on February 17th. The audio is raw, the 95-year-old actor's voice trembling and weak, almost childlike with fear. In the recording, you can hear him breathing heavily, as if he had just woken up in terror. The words are unmistakable. "Betsy, they're here again. I can hear them moving in the hallway. They want us silent forever. Don't let them take me too." The memo ends with the sound of footsteps shuffling across the floor, then the phone being set down. At that exact moment, the deputies realized they weren't just dealing with two elderly people who had died of natural causes in isolation. Someone, or something, had been inside the house while Betsy was already dead and Gene was still alive. The front door had been left unlocked. The space heater had been moved. Pills were scattered as though someone had been desperately trying to fight off whatever was happening. And now this hidden bottle of unknown blue capsules, the frantic planner notes, the late-night video search history, and Gene's terrified voice memo all pointed to one chilling possibility. They were not alone in their final days. The official cause of death still reads natural causes. But the items seized from that house, the phones, the planner, the mystery vial, and that haunting voice recording, tell a completely different story. A story that even 1 year later refuses to die. And the most disturbing question of all still hangs in the air. Who exactly were they? Chapter 4, The True Private Life of Gene Hackman and Betsy. The man the world knew as one of Hollywood's toughest, most commanding screen presences, the same actor who once stared down corruption in The French Connection and faced down Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, spent his final months in a way no one could have imagined. Gene Hackman was born Eugene Allen Hackman on January 30th, 1930, in San Bernardino, California. He won his first Oscar in 1972 for The French Connection, his second in 1993 for Unforgiven. He terrified audiences as Lex Luthor, commanded a submarine in Crimson Tide, and made millions laugh in The Birdcage. By the time he walked away from acting in 2004 at age 74, he had appeared in nearly 80 films and built a legendary career that spanned 5 decades. He wrote novels, raced cars at Daytona, and dove the world's oceans. To the public, Gene Hackman was larger than life. But behind the spotlight, The real Gene was a deeply private man who craved silence. In the early 1990s, he met Betsy Arakawa at a fitness center in California. She was a talented classical pianist and part-time instructor, 30 years his junior. They married in 1991. For the next 34 years, Betsy became his anchor, his best friend, and eventually his full-time caregiver. Together, they left Hollywood behind and built a quiet life on a secluded 23-acre hilltop estate outside Santa Fe, New Mexico. The house had 360-degree mountain views, a lap pool, and enough land to feel like their own private world. For many years, it was a beautiful kind of isolation. Friends described them as inseparable. Betsy ran an upscale furniture store in Santa Fe and still played piano every evening. Gene would sit in his favorite chair, eyes closed, listening as the notes drifted through the house. They traveled together, dined quietly in local restaurants, and kept the outside world at arm's length. Gene's 3 children from his first marriage, Christopher, Leslie, and Elizabeth, were grown and living their own lives. Contact was polite but infrequent. The couple preferred it that way. Then slowly, everything changed. By late 2023, the first clear signs of Gene's advanced Alzheimer's became impossible to ignore. He would forget where he was in his own home. He would stare at Betsy for long minutes, searching her eye as if trying to remember her name. Betsy, then in her early 60s and still in perfect health, made a quiet decision. She would care for him alone. No nurses, no cleaning staff, no visitors. She told friends she didn't want strangers seeing Gene when he was confused or vulnerable. She wanted to protect the dignity of the man she loved. The isolation deepened in 2024. In the summer of that year, Leslie Hackman, Gene's youngest daughter, tried to arrange a visit. Betsy gently but firmly declined. "Dad isn't doing well right now," she wrote in an email. "He gets agitated with new faces." Leslie respected her father's privacy and didn't push. Months passed without another word. Christopher and Elizabeth received similar responses. The once close family drifted further apart, separated by geography, silence, and Betsy's quiet determination to handle everything herself. Inside the Santa Fe house, the days took on a painful rhythm that no outsider ever saw. Betsy would wake at dawn, help Gene out of bed, dress him, and guide him to the kitchen. Some mornings he recognized her and smiled. Other mornings he called her by his first wife's name or asked why the woman who lives here hadn't come yet. Betsy would sit with him for hours playing soft piano pieces on the baby grand in the living room because music was one of the few things that still calmed him. She cooked every meal, administered his heart medication, changed his clothes when he spilled food on himself, and cleaned up after the 3 dogs they both adored. By autumn 2024, the house began to show the strain. Betsy, exhausted from months of round-the-clock caregiving, started leaving small notes to herself in the 2025 planner she kept on the kitchen counter. One entry from October reads, "Gene had a bad night, thought the dogs were strangers, took 2 hours to calm him." Another from November, "He asked me who I was again today. I smiled and told him I'm the girl he married in '91. He cried." She never told the children how bad it had become. She never asked for help. In the final weeks of 2024 and early January 2025, something darker crept in. Betsy began writing cryptic entries in the planner. "They're watching the house again. Gene keeps saying someone is in the hallway at night. Don't let them in." Friends later revealed that Betsy had confided to her hairdresser that she believed they were being followed by an unidentified man on several occasions in the months before her death. Whether real or the product of exhaustion and paranoia, the fear was real to her. By early February 2025, Betsy herself began feeling unwell. She researched flu symptoms and hantavirus on her phone. She ordered oxygen canisters online. She still refused outside help. On February 10th and 11th, while already desperately ill, she continued caring for Gene, moving the space heater closer when he complained of being cold, scattering his pills on the counter so he could take them when he remembered, even recording a shaky voice memo on his phone one night when he woke up terrified. On the night of February 11th or early February 12th, Betsy collapsed in the bathroom. She never got up again. Gene, lost in the fog of advanced Alzheimer's, continued his routine for nearly a week. He ate what little food he could find. He sat near Betsy's body in the bathroom, talking to her as if she were still listening. He may have tried to give her water. He may have wondered why she wouldn't answer. The front door remained unlocked because Betsy had been too weak to close it properly days earlier. Their dog, Zinna, locked in the bathroom closet for safety during Betsy's final struggle, slowly starved to death just feet away. The once mighty Hollywood legend, the man who had faced down every villain on screen, spent his final days shuffling through a house that had become a tomb, completely unaware that the love of his life was gone. When the maintenance workers finally entered on February 26th, they found a scene that shattered everyone who knew the couple's story. The Oscar-winning hero reduced to a frail, confused old man who had lived alone with death for days. The devoted wife who had sacrificed her own health to protect him until the very end. 3 dogs caught in the same tragedy. A house that had once been their sanctuary, now a heartbreaking monument to love, isolation, and silence. The official cause of death may read natural causes, but the truth is far more painful. Gene Hackman didn't just die of heart disease and Alzheimer's. He died the way he had chosen to live his final years, completely alone with the one person who refused to let the world see him fade. And the cruelest irony of all, the man who spent a lifetime pretending to be unbreakable on screen was, in the end, protected by the quiet, unbreakable love of a woman who gave everything to keep him safe, even when it cost her own life. In the quiet hills of Santa Fe, the legend of Gene Hackman didn't end with applause or flashing cameras. It ended in silence, in dust, and in a love so deep it chose isolation over everything else, until isolation became the final curtain. Chapter 5, The Secret That Changes Everything, Connecting All the Dots. Everything the deputies found inside that house now clicked together like the final pieces of a puzzle no one wanted to solve. The unlabeled bottle of bright blue capsules hidden behind the medicine cabinet, the shaky handwritten notes in Betsy's 2025 planner that read, "I think the virus is not natural, and don't let them in." The late-night video on her phone showing a shadowy figure in dark clothing moving through the hallway and opening the medicine cabinet. And Gene Hackman's terrified 3:17 a.m. voice memo, his voice cracking as he whispered, "Betsy, they're here again. They want us silent forever." Taken separately, each item could be dismissed as the paranoia of 2 elderly, isolated people. Taken together, they painted a picture far darker than natural causes. Investigators now believe the couple may have been the victims of slow poisoning, combined with a sustained campaign of psychological terror by an unknown stalker, or possibly multiple individuals working together. The mystery blue capsules are currently undergoing urgent toxicology testing. Sources close to the case say preliminary results show traces of a substance not prescribed to either Gene or Betsy. If confirmed, it could mean someone had been systematically introducing a toxin into their home for weeks, perhaps even months. But who would want to harm a 95-year-old retired actor and his devoted wife? The question has triggered a wave of new theories that refuse to die. Some point to Gene's long Hollywood career. Over 5 decades, he worked with some of the most powerful names in the industry, directors, producers, and studio executives who knew secrets that could still destroy careers today. Others whisper about his rumored connections to intelligence circles during the Cold War era, when many major stars were quietly approached by government agencies. A few online investigators have even tried to link the case to the Jeffrey Epstein files, noting that Gene Hackman attended several high-profile Hollywood events in the 1990s, where Epstein was also present. While no direct connection has ever been proven, the timing of these new details surfacing 1 year after the deaths has only fueled the speculation. Then there's the most chilling new development. one that surfaced just days ago. In the past week, multiple residents living near the Hackman estate have come forward to local media. 3 separate witnesses, none of whom knew each other, described seeing the same man in the months leading up to February 2025. A tall Caucasian male in his late 40s or early 50s, always dressed in a plain black jacket and dark baseball cap. He was repeatedly seen parked in a nondescript gray SUV on the dirt road that runs parallel to the back of the Hackman property. He never got out of the car. He simply sat there for hours, sometimes until after midnight, watching the house through binoculars. One neighbor, a retired teacher named Maria Delgado, told reporters, "I saw him at least 4 times between December and February. The last time was February 8th, just days before Betsy got sick. He was sitting there in the dark with the engine off. When I drove past, he lowered the binoculars and stared straight at me. I got chills. I never saw his face clearly, but I'll never forget those eyes." Another resident, a delivery driver who made regular drops in the area, said the same man once followed him for 2 miles after he left the Hackman gate. When the driver pulled over, the SUV sped past and disappeared down a side trail. These sightings were never reported to police at the time because the Hackmans were known for their extreme privacy. Neighbors assumed the man was private security hired by the couple. Now they realize he may have been the very threat Betsy was trying to warn about in her final planner entries. The search warrant's haunting phrase, "The deaths were suspicious enough in nature to require a thorough investigation," suddenly makes perfect sense. The unlocked front door, the moved heater, the scattered pills, the hidden bottle, the voice memo, the unidentified man in the black jacket watching from the shadows. Gene Hackman did not simply die of old age and Alzheimer's. Betsy Arakawa did not simply contract a rare rodent-borne virus by accident. They appear to have been stalked, terrorized, and possibly slowly poisoned inside their own fortress of solitude, a fortress they built to keep the world out, but which may have ended up trapping them with their killer. 1 year later, the official ruling still stands as natural causes. But the evidence seized from that house tells a completely different story, one that suggests 2 of Hollywood's most private figures may have been targeted in their final months by someone who wanted them gone and wanted it to look like old age took them. The most disturbing part, whoever they were, they succeeded. The front door was left unlocked. The world eventually walked in. And the truth is still buried somewhere inside those 23 acres of silence. This single case has now forced investigators to reopen old files and re-examine every unusual death of reclusive celebrities in the past 2 decades. Because if Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa, 2 people who wanted nothing more than to be left alone, could be hunted down in their own home, then no one in Hollywood is truly safe. The legend of Gene Hackman did not end because his heart finally gave out. It ended because someone made sure it did. And the secret they tried to bury with him is only just beginning to surface. So, what do you think really happened inside that 23-acre fortress? We've just walked through every chilling detail the Bodycam captured. The hidden bottle of bright blue capsules, Betsy's frantic handwritten notes in the planner, the shadowy figure caught on video moving through the hallway, Gene's terrified voice memo at 3:17 a.m., and the mysterious man in the black jacket who was spotted watching the house for weeks. The official story still says natural causes. But after everything we've uncovered today, does that explanation still feel believable to you? Some people online are already calling this the most suspicious celebrity death since Epstein. Others are straight up accusing the family of abandoning Gene and Betsy in their final years. And a growing number of voices are claiming this was a deliberate Hollywood cleanup, that Gene knew too many secrets from the golden age of cinema, and someone finally decided to silence both him and his wife quietly. Was it an obsessed stalker who became fixated on the legend, a bitter former associate from his decades in the industry, or was something much bigger at play? Something that reaches far beyond Santa Fe. The front door was left unlocked for days. The toxicology report on those mystery capsules is still sealed, and the man in the dark SUV has never been identified. This case isn't just tragic, it's deeply unsettling. Drop your theories in the comments right now. Type secret changer if you want me to drop part 2 immediately, the full unreleased body cam footage, the latest toxicology rumors, and the shocking new witness statements that just came in this week. If you believe there's way more to this story than the authorities are telling us, smash that like button, subscribe to Hollywood Files, and turn on notifications. We're not stopping until the truth comes out. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. You're part of the reason these hidden Hollywood stories keep getting exposed. This has been Hollywood Files. Stay curious, stay suspicious, and I'll see you in the next one, where we finally open that sealed toxicology report.